Tyler Ankrum at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, your home track, not far from where you live, and I'm sure you've probably looked forward to this one for a while. First of all, let's talk about your season today. How would you analyze your first season with HRE?
Oh, I mean, it's a far cry improvement from, where I was last year and even the year before. Just overall, just getting the DNFs out of the way. We've had a few performances where we wish they were better than what they are, but, we're improving every single week. Texas, we had a really fast truck, improved a lot on restarts. Pit road guys are phenomenal, but, just overall, everything that we're working on, kind of getting all the junk out of my head, and really truly learning with Scott and with Eddie, just having those two guys really figuring this stuff out. And we're starting to hit the second half of the season, which they told me, like, you're going to start seeing it all come together in the second half of the season. So that's where we're at right now. So I think we're going to be pretty quick tonight too. Charlotte and Texas, they have a lot of similarities between one another, but just overall, Charlotte's owed me a couple times. I've always been pretty fast when I've come here. Something always happens. In 2019, I had the studs out of the left rear stripped out. That ended my race. 2020, I got involved in an accident that had no business being there. Last year, got spun out and then had to run on scuffs for the rest of the night. So there's Charlotte's, has always been kind to me with speed, just not on the other end. So it's important to stay away from that 7th to 15th because that's where the dogfight is, and that's where everyone wants to try to kill each other. So 7th plus, you're looking pretty. Even last week when I got spun out, I was 7th to 15th. So you really got to be ahead of that, and that's really important when it comes to these mile and a halves.
So talk a little more in detail, if you can, without sharing any trade secrets, about some of the things that you have been learning from Scott and Eddie, because those are two guys with a ton of championship pedigree.
Yeah, just a lot of it's simpler than what you think. A lot of it is, especially with, racecraft, you don't realize how much you don't know until you talk to these guys, and then kind of realize what everyone else is trying to keep secret. So I'm just learning the things, just racecraft and pit road and restarts. Even qualifying. The one thing I can share is, Scott even changed the way I sat in my truck.
Oh, wow.
I had no idea. It makes sense in the horse world, riding horses, but growing up on a ranch, it's definitely possible to, make the horse uncomfortable riding it and you not know it. I had never connected the two. I had no idea that I was uncomfortable in the truck just based off the way I was sitting. So, we changed that, and I felt like that, that put me up more on the wheel.
So you're sitting more straight up?
More straight up, okay. Yeah. More like an open wheel car, kind of like basically where my roots are.
Okay.
And for me, that's just, it's like sitting up straight up more, and being up on the wheel more. Being more of I call it more of a athletic position, just a position to attack, not in a kind of a reclined and a lazy boy. So just stuff like that, working on with me, just how to really tie this all together.
So is that what the horse wants to, sit more straight up? Is that kind of the whole secret?
No, so it's more of just, you got to realize that, your arms, your legs, your feet, all they are, in race car terms, all they are suspension pieces. Your whole body's connected to your core. Your core is your largest and your strongest muscle. And so on a horse, it's the same thing. You got to be in an athletic position. You can't have your rear end tucked underneath you. You got to be, sitting straight up, kind of rear end poked out. You got to be, almost like on attack mode, and that horse underneath you will be on attack mode as well. When you're sitting lazy, or when you're sitting in a fetal, scared position, that horse feels that. It feels like this guy is just kind of, doesn't really know what he's doing, and I'm uncomfortable now. He's uncomfortable. His back hurts. I know his back hurts because now he's doing this, or his arms hurt because now he's doing that. His legs hurt because now he's doing this. They recognize that, and it's the same thing. And so, not knowing that it was the same, it correlated. I had no idea. So it's all very interesting. You quickly realize as you get older, pretty much everything applies to everything. So it's been a ton of fun so far.
Okay, so let's talk about here at Charlotte and going forward. So you've arrived at the point where we're pretty much to the second half of the season. So now what are the expectations, and talk about what you're feeling like for this weekend.
Playoffs are the main thing. I want to make the playoffs really bad. For me, that'll be a huge deal, because if I can just make the playoffs, I know there's a few really good tracks for me in the playoff run, and for this team as well. Looking forward right now, top 10s, top 5s. We had a really good run at Texas. Didn't get the result that we wanted, but I think it showed that we're starting to knock on doors, and we're starting to kick them down. And it's to gain the respect of the guys who run up front every week. That'll be really big. But I'm looking for top 10s, top 5s, and then turning top 5s into top 3s into wins. And I think we'll be able to accomplish that.
You've got what seems like a pretty amazing sponsor in LiUNA. You're very kind of interconnected with them. Talk about that relationship a little bit, because I feel like there's a lesson that every young driver can learn about how to basically work with a sponsor. Yeah,
actually, LiUNA is very interesting because it's a labor union. It's a very unique sponsor, because it's so different compared to sponsors I've had in the past, where you're essentially promoting a product, whether it was Railblaze or a Yak Gear, it was a product. Well, now I'm promoting an organization. I'm just promoting people. Not only am I trying to promote myself, I'm trying to promote them as well. And so that's just the big difference in LiUNA and other partners, is that. And where I connect with them a lot more is that it's not just a material thing. When LiUNA members, they come to the racetrack, that's who I'm representing.
Yeah.
It's those people, and so it's a lot different. And actually, I find it to be very fun, because I've met a lot of people, a lot of interesting stories of laborers who've came from nothing, and LiUNA made something for them. And they've worked hard all their lives, and they have something to show for it. And so being part of LiUNA, it's a huge honor. They've done a lot for me, and they've changed my life 100%, and I'm just happy to have them on board.
Talk about your other sponsors as well.
Yeah, Cinch. I love Cinch. I've worn Cinch all my life. Yeah, it's funny growing up on a ranch and wearing Cinch your whole life, and kind of just magically falling in line in a partnership with Cinch Jeans, Cinch Jeans Denim. They're an amazing partner. Toyota TRD Pro. They've been awesome, bringing me back into the fold, and Railblaze as well. Keeping all the partners happy. Ofora, they're a new partner. Actually, I had no idea. I used to always say, I'm thirsty, I'm not dirty, whenever anybody offered me a water, but I never knew water could taste good. and Ofora, they've really changed my opinion about water and the quality of it, so hats off to them as well.
Okay, so how do fans keep up with you on social, website, all of that?
Yeah, website's TylerAnkrum.com. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I don't know if I'm on Reddit anymore. I think I deleted my Reddit account, but it's all Tyler Ankrum. You can find me everywhere on at Tyler Ankrum. So give me a shout and visit my website.
Okay, so we all want more pasture thoughts. When are we getting more pasture thoughts?
Oh, I don't know. I'm so busy right now, and especially with this stretch. Pasture Thoughts was a ton of fun, but I'm amazed. I mean, it was just somebody behind a camera, host and a guest, and two couches, and the amount of effort that went into just a simple little show like that. I was amazed about how much effort I had to put into it. So it took a lot of time. So I'm trying to figure out who wants to sponsor the show next, and who wants to be the next guest. So Excuse me. When that wants to happen, we'll do it again. But until, I'm just focusing on racing.
Okay, one last question. You got the micro now. You bought a race car.
Yeah.
First time you've been a car owner. How's that going so far?
Yeah, so my dad had gifted me my first late model to me, and the option was, because I wanted to start racing more, and just knowing, how expensive everything's gotten, and just how difficult it is. Just, even super late models and late models. You go run a Cars Tour or a CRA or even a Southern Super Series race. It's just, you got to be in it all the time. It costs a lot of money. So I wanted to find a way to go racing more, and just spent a lot of time around Sheldon Creed at Millbridge Speedway, helping him out with his micro, just learning more about micros, and I caught the bug. I said, all right, I'm going to be like everybody else. I want to be big time. I'm going to go buy a micro. So I went out and bought a micro. The initial investment's a ton, but after that, it's really affordable to get in a micro, non-wing, wing, 600cc, Suzuki, micro sprint. It's really affordable, and it's fun to do. For me, I've raced it 2 times in the past week, and had some motor issues, but learning really, really fast about the car, about myself, about the racetracks, how everything works. Learning a lot at a rapid pace, which is a ton of fun. Plus, also having something to do other than work on a ranch. It's an excuse to get away, and everybody else, dig shovels or dig holes with shovels. So for me, it's a ton of fun. I love doing it. I've learned a ton, and I want to do it more.
Well, we wish you great luck here at Charlotte, Tyler, and going forward in the season. And it's always great to catch up with you again. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much.